Hello everyone, welcome back to Perkins Engineering YouTube channel. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Noble Logistics. Been great supporters of everything we've done right through COVID, bit of car racing, and been on the YouTube channel a few times. So big thanks to Noble Logistics. If you need any logistics, freight, transport, especially around Metro Melbourne, please look them up. Noble Logistics, great supporters of what we're doing. So keep supporting those that are helping us. In this episode, we wanted to have a look at our VP restorations, and we've been pretty busy on those cars in our new workshop. And for those that follow our Facebook and Instagram, you'll notice we've been manufacturing tail shafts, getting all the driveline ready, and we've actually fitted the engines to the cars. So I wasn't able to get fantastic footage of us fitting the engines, and it was myself and my dad Larry giving me a hand. So I put together a couple little time lapses putting the engines in both cars. Let's have a look at those now. Yes, so that was putting the engines in the cars. Nice little cameo from my wife Tara there, and when we're putting the engine in this rocket. So we put the engines in the cars, complete gearbox, bell housing, as you would have noticed, quite a long assembly. And then on these cars, the radiator support panels don't come out. So you've got to take the bonnet off, the engine goes quite high, get a nice angle in and drop it in like so. It's easier to do it that way than kind of putting the gearbox in afterwards. That's what we find. Others have different ways of doing things. Maybe if you're up on the hoist, it'll be a bit different, but that's how we do it. And then in later cars, like the VY, for example, we made the radiator support, this top section, removable for quicker engine changes and access in terms of that section there. And in other cars, so the cross members can move around or they become fixed to the engine. So now that we've got the engines in the cars, we're pretty busy sort of finishing off all the driveline, and there's lots of little jobs now. You know, they might look like they're ready to hit the track, but there's a heap of little jobs. So all I'm gonna do is grab the camera and we'll have a walk around both rockets. And here it is, the 1993 Bathurst race winning engine back in the car. We have had it sitting in there before we dynoed it and before all the chassis got painted, but now it's in there for good with our wrapped header pipes and starting to plumb up our oil lines. So it's a combination of push-on blue hose for oil lines and some braided hose. We actually still had some original lines from this car, and some lines will be making brand new. Fuel lines are connected, both the supply and the return line over the other side. And then we've also sat the radiator in and get ready to plumb all that in as well. Our steering racks are in. So these are quite neat little universal joint that goes down to the rack. All that stuff's a bit finicky to fit. And we've just been busy setting up all the tie rods and things. So quite tricky process getting all that set up. We've got a couple second-hand bolts in there and some spacers, just working out all the bump steer and everything. So Larry's been pretty busy helping me with that. So once we've set up all our bumps here, then we'll put our brand new fasteners back in. But it's a manual steering rack with the Perkins Engineering long pinion to clear through the header pipes. I'll jump underneath and show you how that looks under here. You see pinion just goes straight through the gap in our header pipes. So that's the rack in there. Brand new starter motor, the brand new clutch. So still on the 93 car, obviously the external stuff is pretty good. Hasn't changed since we probably last updated you. We've been making the brake lines, so rear brake lines fitted there with some heat sleeve over the outside. Our front brake lines will be happening soon once our steering stuff's done, so we can check the steering with the brake lines. And around to the back, we're busy setting up the different gearbox coolers, making lines, running them to the filters, fitting off the pumps, getting all those little jobs done. We've sat the steering wheel on there, a big original steering wheel, which is really cool. Gear sticks are in, shifter covers are on, ECUs are mounted to the firewall, or to the sill, I should say. And then we're just getting a harness manufactured from the ECU to the firewall. Remembering this car turned up with a 18-degree Chev in it, so from the ECU to the firewall, we didn't have a Holden engine loom. So we're busy doing that now. And we'll switch over to have a look at the 1994 rocket. And here we are looking at the Chev engine in the 1994 Bathurst third place car. So we couldn't find evidence that these header pipes had the wrap on them, so we decided not to. But as the engine ran on the dyno, freshly built by Neil Burns, this is the big difference between the two cars, is the Chevy engine. So you'll notice the radiator, the water outlets are in a different spot. Same size radiator, but different outlets to suit where the water pipes need to be connected up on these Chevy cars. And again, been busy putting all the steering rack and that assembly into the car. So you'll notice the steering rack under there, and this one has progressed a little bit further than the 93 car. We've got the secondary exhaust system in, the Y piece as we call it, and the different gearboxes, coolers are all plumbed in. There's the gearbox cooler filter, got the heat sleeve there. Jump right under, you'll see our cooler lines run alongside the tail shaft all the way up to the gearbox. We only ran different gearbox coolers in the endurance races, so this is an important part of the restoration in terms of keeping it original. And then we've been plumbing up the diff cooler as well. Got a filter to go on there, and yeah, so rear brake lines on this rocket are done as well. Yeah, so looking forward to making more progress on these cars, and won't be long until we'll be able to put some fuel in them and fire them up. Gear shifter in this car. Another walk around, we'll go and have a quick look in the interior. No steering wheel yet, but the ECU mounted up again, ready to put a loom on. And looking forward to powering up the PI dash in this rocket. Well, there's an update on our VP restoration, so still plenty of work to do. There's heaps of little jobs to do just to really finish off, keep our attention to detail. But yeah, like I said, won't be too far away before we put some fuel in them, kick them into life, which is always fun, powering up the dashes, powering up the engines in the cars, and then just keep ticking off the little jobs. We've got the setups to do, obviously, in terms of setting up the suspension, the wheel alignment, that sort of thing. We've already started doing the bump steer, like I said, on this car, so it won't take a lot of time when it's all set up on the setup patch. And then, yeah, we've got to finish off the interiors. There's a few jobs to do inside the car, wiring jobs. Our Sparky will be coming down from Queensland to help us finish off a few of those jobs. And yeah, hopefully it's the 30-year anniversary for this car, the 93 Rocket. So fingers crossed we're going to have it finished pretty soon and on a track in time for Bathurst. So stay tuned for that one. In the meantime, like and subscribe our YouTube channel. I really appreciate all the support. Try to get back to all the comments. Our Facebook and Instagram, we put a few other updates on there. And of course our website with our online store, perkinsengineering.com.au. A few things popping up there in the for sale section. So keep checking that out. There'll be some cool stuff, some memorabilia and car parts and bits and pieces for sale soon. So thanks for the support, everyone. Thanks to Noble Logistics, great supporters of ours. And we look forward to bringing you another episode soon. Cheers.